Hello, Seth Jackson and Campus Bay. My name is Glenn Reynolds. I'll be the presenter for today, and my main topic that I want to discuss and elaborate more is the vulnerability management program proposal that I want to implement to you guys. Mainly, I want to discuss the vulnerability management lifecycle and the steps, the scope, and yeah, that's pretty much the gist. So let's dive right into it. First off, I want to talk a little bit more about the history of Campus Pay. Campus Pay, which you already know, is a human management platform for universities, and it also offers a lot of like cloud, software as SaaS, and a wide variety of applications to for talent association, payroll, time, labor management, any of the human resource management, and many other types of application. But the reason why these applications are so crucial to the organization and for the university is because they are designed to and consolidate university processes, of which allow university employees to directly access, operate, and manage the administrative processes that are responsible for applications that deal with everyday tasks, administrative roles like payroll, deduction, that benefits employees on boarding candidates, the identifying all these candidates, and many other functions that can be termination or even measuring the performance of an employee. And to duly note, on that note, Campus Pay has employed over 5,000 employees, and 50% of them are continuing to work remotely, and which the Campus Pay systems are accessible through Apollo Alto Global Verbal Private Network. And we mainly, which is all developed by Campus Bay, it was developed by a third develop, party developer by Spectrum, which we will discuss why all this plays an important part of why vulnerability management is such a pivotal um, thing within the organization. Okay, let's dive back. So I think we should really reiterate why vulnerability management is crucial. It's crucial because it safeguards every endpoint or any asset in the organization. And that could be the laptops, the servers, the virtual machines, the web servers, the cloud-based software, the databases, and yeah, and also any of the visibility of the distributed IT endpoints whereabouts, where to pinpoint them exactly, and to detect any vulnerabilities or miss configurations for software, um, which can escalate into a data breach, for instance, and you can examine beyond all the CVS scores. And I'll get a little bit more why that's good because you want to prioritize all their vulnerabilities based on their age, their exploitability, and overall their impact, which can escalate into a risk. And we want to be able to smoothly detect any zero-day vulnerabilities and apply the necessary remediation and all-around workloads and automate or any patching, because what I've been told from Seth Jackson, he wants us to patch any of the software updates, which can make it way more vulnerable for any things like 0 days, vulnerabilities, and that's like the main thing we have to worry about in the ever evolving security landscape. And ultimately, want to obtain a bird eyes perspective on the security posture with real time dashboards, which we'll go into that more. So the industry standards and tools for vulnerability management. First off, you always want to go back to the NS cybersecurity framework: identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. And you want to utilize the CVV and the NVD for vulnerability classifications. And if you're going to do risk management or do vulnerability scanning, for instance, and you also want to do the CVS, conduct that for vulnerability severity scoring, which allows you to prioritize remediating the risk. And the OWASP tools, vulnerability tools that industries that usually recommend are like Fire, Campus, Tenable Nexus, and Qual VTMR. They're all scalable. They're all good for many cloud premise hybrid platforms that we use for the applications we use for on campus pay. And we want to go rely on the CTM for guidance for the CTM model, which can correspond to all of the stakeholders, and which are huge vital assets for our company. And the general scope is we want to conduct an asset inventory automation platform. It creates all and counts for all of the inventory to ensure the personnel and company's cloud assets, and clears out any of the version control repositories that need to be maintained daily through vulnerability scanning, risk management. The organizations usually has to have new services being updated, and they want to incorporate the findings for any of the external audits. And this can date back from the risk management portion, and we want to respond to any of it in a timely manner and technologies. Obviously, we want to not exclude testing and training, and that could be trainers awareness training, which is role playing, training employees how to and educate employees how to recognize certain attacks, vulnerabilities, reverse engineering, and that's just a simple just of that. And you also want to be continuously monitoring a platform so that the security controls can be compliant with all the regulatory and industry frameworks like GDPR, HIPAA, and PGAEDS, which is just to name a few. And we'll talk about the program objectives, and these are all as the steps you always want to conduct: asset inventory, secure configuration, vulnerability scanning tools. You want to use like the Nexus. You want to use anything from CloudStrike, anything that OWASP recommends. You always want to be constantly having a risk assessment, um, and reporting and recording your findings with any of the higher ups so that you could prioritize the risk and vulnerabilities before a data breach breaks out, and you know, etc. And employee awareness training, which I've touched before, is so important to vulnerability management, because it's not enough just for, you know, employees, skilled employees to be, but sometimes one eye can't, you know, prevent or remediate or take a reactive, proactive approach. You need employees to recognize just basics and just escalate it to the skilled workers, like a penetrational tester, or have like a Jira ticketing system so that they could refer it over. And last but not personally, we need penetration testing, which is extremely important. Without penetration testing, you can't use it, and you can't really function, because it's the thing that detects all the anomalies, all the network traffic, and Netscape or one of the other things that you can use, you know, for tool for automation tool for that, which I think this is an automative automation tool, but it's more of a proposal tool. So that being said, and lastly, the conclusion is it's all vulnerability management is very extremely beneficial for all these reasons: proactive risk detection, enhancing the regulatory compliance between HIPAA. And if you don't have those standards to meet, you don't have to worry about getting sued or any of the financial losses from other party or any of these organizations. They don't sue you for anything. And improved incident response, which is important for resource efficiency and cost savings. So you don't have those financial a loss from a company or any of the reputation of the companies. And the cultural shift to preventive security is more important than ever of this growing landscape. Because if we can prevent it, then most likely we can evaluate it and propose a solution with this security vulnerability management system. And early notifications of zero-day trust, I said again, they're the most prevalent attacks that are happening. And if we can prevent them, they can prevent a data breach or anything, or theft or any of that that's globalizing on the web or and just causing mischiefs. And lastly, we want to protect and safeguard and their reputation and customer trust, the employees, and for all that, that's the reason why vulnerability management is so crucial and pivotal to cybersecurity. And thank you for your presentation. Goodbye.